Howdy, folks. I'm dashing Uncle Drosselmeyer, dreamily donating delightful dolls.
I'm Amber.
And here are more delightful dolls for us to donate. Why not? You're next. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Making a Glitter Bomb Gift That Was Stolen? I've picked up some work from an old teacher of mine that involves decorating and wrapping gifts for a program that he's a director of. They have had problems with gifts being stolen before, but still want a Christmas tree to have gifts under it. Where I work, I can get a lot of boxes and scored a good deal on some gift wrapping paper and some ribbons. So I got some empty boxes from work and I wrapped them up with pine cones inside to give them a little bit of weight. Only, in the last one, I placed a red and silver glitter bomb inside of it. To be sure, and maybe to use later as a prank, I used ribbons to mark the gift boxes and take pictures in case I forgot. There were a total of 9 placed under the tree. Not even a week after putting them out, 3 of the gifts go missing. A bit worried, but mostly annoyed, the director and I brush them off, but tell the other employees and volunteers to keep their eyes open. The day after, one of the volunteers is yelling at the receptionist while covered in red and silver glitter. Apparently, the lady thought that they had given her 2 kids, an 8-year-old female and 10-year-old male, gifts, only to find out that it was just yard trash inside. The lady then opened the 3rd gift box, and her whole house is now covered in glitter. She demanded money for cleaning and emotional distress. Honestly, she was laughed out by the director, who told her to leave. I learned this today from a volunteer who said that the glitter bomb was a jerk move to do. Even when I pointed out that the gift had been stolen, the other volunteers agreed and said that I was a jerk, even though the director told me that it was funny and sorry that he didn't get it first. The kids still come to the program, but are picked up and dropped off by their dad, who is annoyed by the glitter that he keeps finding. The kids also apologize for taking the gifts because their mother told them to. So, am I the jerk for making a glitter bomb that got stolen? Edit, the glitter bomb was not meant to catch a thief. It was meant to be a prank on the director who loves glitter. Some of the volunteers have been working with the director for years, so he trusts them, and I would like to believe that they are not thieves. The years before, all of the gifts were stored in an unlocked supply closet. The director has changed it this year, and he trusts me with the more valuable items. The gifts were set up on stage that is 4 feet off the ground. It was set up to look like a living room, and the 2 access doors to get up on the stage were locked. If a kid had been jumping up on the stage, it would have been noticed. All the employees and volunteers of the community center should have been told that the gifts on the stage were just for decorations. Only a few employees knew that one of the boxes had a glitter bomb in it in case it needed to be moved. The woman who stole the gifts is banned from the center, but her kids and husband are allowed to attend. The kids also have apologized for taking gifts like my ribbons and glitter. An officer that patrols the area had to escort the woman out, but told us that we couldn't press charges because there was no monetary loss on our end. While the staff and director get a good laugh about this event, most of the volunteers are not happy with me. One has already tried to tell me the wrong date of the meeting, not knowing that the director can text me himself and vice versa. Alright folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. These were meant to be a display piece. They were not meant to be opened. Someone decided to steal them and open them, and no one was harmed. Yeah, glitter is annoying, but it's not like OP put a rabid raccoon in there or something.
Yeah, that would be a little bit of a different story. Now, I guess it depends on the definition of booby trap, and I don't think that this qualifies as a booby trap because I think booby traps have to actually have some level of physical harm associated with them. And glitter, while being a minor annoyance, I don't know that it is classified as a harm, especially if it's like biodegradable glitter. Hopefully, OP, you got biodegradable glitter as opposed to non-biodegradable glitter. I don't think that OP was in the wrong for doing this. I don't think they did this with malicious intention or with the intention of having it stolen. And even if they did, I don't think that that was like a punishment that didn't fit the crime.
Right. I mean, this has been an issue for years, people stealing things. And it's really unfortunate that the volunteers, like this was a volunteer in the program who stole these gifts or had her kids steal the gifts for her. Hopefully, in the future, the volunteers will stop stealing things.
Yeah, I really hope that this is a lesson to them and that they'll know better in the future. I just don't understand why they were stealing the gifts in the first place.
Yeah, it sounds like they used to put presents in them, and so they wanted like the best toys for their kids or something like that. I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever the motive was, it's not a good move to just go around stealing gifts.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks. And our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Join My Wife and Children in Our Christmas Activities? Because she didn't have a large family and hers was dysfunctional, my wife has always enjoyed holidays more than I have. I've already celebrated as many large Christmases as I need, having grown up in a large family. Though it wasn't a huge event, she is fixated on making it special because we have children, 2, 5, and 12. She created numerous new customs over the years, such as having the kids help decorate a bookcase and a tree. She is aware that I wouldn't claim to enjoy any of that. I let her do it since I don't want to be involved and I don't have time for that kind of work on the weekends. She continued to ask me if I wanted to help, if I want to make the gingerbread houses, or if I want to go see the lights with them, which takes ages. I was quite explicit. So I stayed in the bedroom with the door locked today, and she put up the tree to prevent all of that. Well, it's the weekend, it's my time, and I just want to unwind. But she acts like I have a holiday-related trauma and calls me the jerk for not wanting to participate. I fail to see the big deal. I was also called a jerk by her for educating the kids that Santa isn't real. I don't know why she's upset. They didn't seem to believe me. She's trying to give the kids what she didn't have, and I get that, but I don't think that it's my responsibility that she had a difficult upbringing. It seems like something that she should move past from, rather than attempting to make up lost time. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Yes, major jerk. Opie doesn't seem to understand that, like, parents kind of have a responsibility to do nice things for their kids. Like,
No, Amber, I think you're wrong. Parents have the responsibility of being a wallet. And that's really the only thing that a dad needs to do. A dad doesn't need to celebrate Christmas. Bah humbug. He's got cash.
like I love how he's acting like these are all these outrageous traditions. She wants to decorate a tree and see some lights and make gingerbread houses. Like, I would understand if it was like every day is Christmas, we have to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
But like a few classic Christmas traditions, like, and he's like, well, she had a bad home life, so she's just making up for it. It's like, you literally have children who are growing up. Do you not understand that, like, no one else is going to swoop in and create holidays for your children?
Yeah, well, and OP talks about this from a very self-centered point of view, right? Like, they're like, oh, well, I've had all the Christmases that I want, and so I'm not going to give anyone else this, celebrate this with anyone else because I've had all the Christmases I want. I think that this is just a fundamental lack of compatibility in the relationship.
Well, I think OP is just not. He doesn't sound like an involved parent at all or an involved partner.
Yeah.
He just sounds like, oh, it's my time. I want to do what I want to do. He's having kids is a real drag. And it's like, why do you have kids if you didn't want to raise them, parent them?
And that's kind of what I am wondering, is it seems like this is more or less one of those things where he didn't want kids, and I don't know why he's gone along with having 3 children if he didn't want them to begin with. So yeah, I just don't understand his motivation here. I don't understand why he doesn't want to hang out with his kids, and he looks as if hanging with his kids is a chore.
Right, it's exactly it. Like, his wife and kids are a big drag, and, they want to drag him to do this boring stuff. Sometimes you do things in life that you don't necessarily enjoy because it makes other people happy.
Well, and you should enjoy spending time with your children and your wife.
Well, you should, but, like, I understand getting tired if, like, the light show is really long and, it could be tiring, or, like...
Well, yeah. And I mean, he might have a legitimate excuse if he was like running a business where its peak season was like Christmas. And he's like, yeah, no, kids, I just can't help right now. The reason why is because like we earn most of our income this season and I just have a lot to do. I could see it being a little more reasonable that way. But this is just like, oh, I need to rest on the weekends.
Yeah, I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
And the self-centeredness here, it just eats at me because, again, like, he's not willing to do anything nice for his partner or
Yeah.
for his children.
Yeah.
Like, even if they didn't have kids, it would still be nice to, like, put up a tree because it's important to his partner.
Yeah.
But, like, especially since they have young children too, who they're helping create holiday memories, like,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't seem to get that, like, not everything revolves around him.
Exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Husband that he has to let my dad witness his colonoscopy? I guess that this post breaks the rules on Am I the Jerk? My mother-in-law wants to be in the room when I gave birth. She is an unpleasant and pushy woman, and none of her own daughters have allowed her near them when they gave birth. My sister-in-laws are all at least 12 years older than my husband, and are all done having kids. I am the last chance for my mother-in-law to see the birth of a grandchild. I have zero interest in letting that judgmental old woman see me down there. She has objected to me from the very beginning because I have tattoos and I'm not in any way interested in being a stay-at-home wife. I have a lot of tattoos and a career and I plan on continuing it. And I have tattoos down there that are none of her business. My husband is her baby boy. He is a good husband and has stood up for me against her many times. When she tried to interfere with our wedding, he put his foot down. When she tried to convince him that we should move to his hometown where he could work from, but I would not be able to find an employer in my line of work, he said no because my career is important to me, and while we can live off his earnings, and the cost of living is lower in his hometown, our combined earnings are much better altogether. She started crying to him that all she wants is to see her grandchild being born. All her friends have experienced it and she wants to as well. He is starting to crumble under the emotional blackmail. So I made it clear that the only way that I would agree to it before the birth, my husband, if he made arrangements for my father to witness him getting a colonoscopy. He would need a ride anyway, so two birds, one stone, you know. He said that I'm being ridiculous, but I said that none of my brothers would have let my dad see them getting a camera shoved up their butt, and he felt left out. He finally understood my point, but his mother is upset that I used such a stupid comparison. She said that it isn't the same thing at all. I offered to change it to me watching her get a Brazilian wax, and she hasn't called me in a week. I know seeing a baby being born might be a dream of hers, but I'm not interested. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. I think that's actually a great way to handle this. You know, giving birth is a very private experience. You're having some of the most private regions of your body exposed.
Yeah.
And the audacity of people to assume that I can be in the room when this happens because I bear some relation to you. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think my big issue here is that, this is OP and OP's decision, and they should be allowed to have whoever they want in the room. And it's unfortunate that the mother-in-law is trying to push this boundary.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also unfortunate that the husband is allowing her to push this boundary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm glad he's kind of realized it now, but
Mm-hmm.
she is really using a lot of emotional blackmail. And the thing is, like, OP is also really uncomfortable with her seeing the tattoos, I think, because
Mm-hmm.
she's gonna probably judge her more for that.
Well, that's the thing, is OP's mother-in-law could have at any point in time not been a judgmental jerk
Mm-hmm.
and pushy person, and maybe one of her other family members would have been more inclined to let her be there if she
Yeah.
had been a supportive individual.
Well, and that's just it. It's like she doesn't seem like she's supportive. It doesn't seem like she's a very nice person, and she's reaping what she sowed, right?
But you are not owed to witness a grandchild getting born. Like, you are not entitled to someone else's body in that way.
Exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here. And Amber, she has a joke.
First monster, you must be getting close to a city. Second monster, why do you say that? First monster, we're stepping on more people.
We're stepping on more people. Yeah, I guess that would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. And I have Earl Grey. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday, Junior.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks so much to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please, make it shiny.
I don't know if this is a moral or not, but we're going to go with it. Glitter may not solve all of life's problems, but it sure is fun.
You know, I think that does qualify on some level as a moral. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.